Richard Feynman was a brilliant physicist and Nobel laureate, known for his exceptional contributions to quantum mechanics and the theory of quantum electrodynamics. With his charismatic personality and passion for science, Feynman inspired generations of scientists and made complex scientific concepts accessible to a wide audience. Study hard what interests you the most in the most undisciplined, irreverent, and original manner possible. The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. I believe that a scientist looking at non-scientific problems is just as dumb as the next guy. Fall in love with some activity and do it. Nobody ever figures out what life is all about, and it doesn't matter. The highest forms of understanding we can achieve are laughter and human compassion. The best way to learn is to teach. You have no responsibility to live up to what other people think you ought to accomplish. You have a responsibility to be true to yourself. Physics is like sex. Sure, it may give some practical results, but that's not why we do it. Nature uses only the longest threads to weave her patterns, so that each small piece of her fabric reveals the organization of the entire tapestry. If you cannot explain something in simple terms, you don't understand it well enough. Study hard what interests you, and your excitement will come through in your work. I can live with doubt and uncertainty and not knowing. I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers that might be wrong. The imagination of nature is far, far greater than the imagination of man. You can know the name of a bird in all the languages of the world, but when you're finished, you'll know absolutely nothing whatever about the bird. Nobody ever figures out what life is all about, and it doesn't matter. Explore the world. Nearly everything is really interesting if you go into it deeply enough. The world looks so different after learning science. For example, trees are made of air primarily. I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers that might be wrong. I would rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned. The most remarkable discovery in all of astronomy is that the stars are made of atoms of the same kind as those on Earth. The test of all knowledge is experiment. The scientist has a lot of experience with ignorance and doubt and uncertainty, and this experience is of very great importance, I think. What I cannot create, I do not understand. If you thought that science was certain, well, that is just an error on your part. I learned very early the difference between knowing the name of something and knowing something. Scientific knowledge is a body of statements of varying degrees of certainty. Some most unsure, some nearly sure, none absolutely certain.